Military history is packed with stories of triumphs and ingenious strategies, but it's the mistakes, the military blunders, that captivate us and shape the world as we know it. Today, we'll explore some of the greatest military blunders in history, their causes, and the valuable lessons they offer. From Napoleon's disastrous invasion of Russia to the tragic charge of the Light Brigade, these are stories that continue to fascinate historians, military enthusiasts, and leaders alike. What are military blunders? Military blunders are strategic or tactical decisions that lead to failure, often with devastating consequences. These mistakes usually result from overconfidence, poor planning, miscommunication, or a failure to adapt. But they're not just stories of defeat. They are lessons in leadership, strategy, and human error. Napoleon's invasion of Russia, 1812. In 1812, Napoleon Bonaparte launched one of the most ambitious military campaigns in history, the invasion of Russia. With over 600,000 troops, the Grand Army seemed unstoppable. But Russia's scorched earth strategy, destroying supplies and retreating, in the brutal winter decimated Napoleon's forces. Fewer than 50,000 soldiers returned. Why did it fail? Napoleon underestimated the logistical challenges and the harsh environment. He also overextended his supply lines, leaving his army vulnerable. Lessons learned. Logistics and preparation are as important as battlefield tactics. Overconfidence can blind even the greatest leaders to reality. The charge of the Light Brigade, 1854. In the Crimean War, the charge of the Light Brigade became a tragic symbol of miscommunication. British cavalry was ordered to attack a heavily fortified Russian artillery position due to unclear instructions. The result? A heroic but devastating charge that led to massive casualties. What went wrong? Poor communication and a lack of clarity in orders. Lesson learned: clear communication is critical in both war and leadership. Miscommunication can turn a simple mission into a disaster. Operation Market Garden, 1944. During World War II, the Allies launched Operation Market Garden, aiming to capture key bridges in the Netherlands and push into Germany. While the plan was ambitious, it failed due to underestimated German resistance, poor intelligence, and logistical challenges. Over-reliance on speed, underestimating the enemy's capabilities, and a lack of coordination. Lesson learned: bold strategies require thorough intelligence and adaptability. Overlooking the details can derail even the best-laid plans. The Maginot Line, 1940. The Maginot Line was a series of fortifications built by France to defend against a German invasion. But in 1940, the Germans bypassed it entirely by invading through Belgium, rendering the defenses useless. What went wrong? France relied too heavily on outdated tactics and failed to anticipate Germany's innovative strategies like the Blitzkrieg. Lesson learned: rigid thinking and reliance on past strategies can be fatal when facing a dynamic and adaptive enemy. Vietnam War. 1955-1975. The Vietnam War highlighted the challenges of fighting an unconventional enemy. The United States, with superior firepower and technology, struggled against the guerrilla tactics of the Viet Cong. Despite significant resources, the U.S. failed to achieve its objectives. What went wrong? A misunderstanding of the local culture, terrain, and the resilience of the Vietnamese fighters. The U.S. also underestimated the impact of public opinion on the war effort. Lesson learned: success in war requires understanding the enemy's strategy, culture, and motivations. Technology alone isn't enough to secure victory. The Battle of Gallipoli, 1915. In World War I, the Gallipoli campaign aimed to open a new front against the Ottoman Empire. Poor planning, underestimating the enemy's defenses, and logistical chaos led to one of the Allies' most humiliating defeats. Key mistakes: underestimating terrain challenges, inadequate reconnaissance, and poor leadership. Lesson learned: successful operations require adaptability and a deep understanding of the battlefield. Lessons from military blunders. Lessons from military blunders. These military blunders remind us that even the most powerful forces can fail. Whether it's due to overconfidence, poor planning, miscommunication, or a failure to adapt, the consequences of these mistakes are monumental. Key takeaways. 1. Always plan for the worst-case scenario. 2. Stay flexible and adapt to changing situations. 3. Intelligence and communication are as vital as weapons and manpower. The greatest lesson? History repeats itself if we fail to learn from it. Which military blunders surprised you the most? Let us know in the comments below. And stay tuned for more deep dives into the lessons of history.